Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. A bunch of people been blowing up my phone to get this video out, so we're filming it here today. But this is my first trip to the range with this thing right here. Ooh, let me get the sun hitting off of it right there. How cool is that? Well, what in the world is it? This is the Seneca Dragon Claw 2 tactical version. So there's a wood stock version and then a tactical version. The wood stock version is just the Seneca Dragon Claw 2. There's a wood grip here and then more of a typical style stock. This is the tactical version. Adjustable stock back here, has an AR style grip, and then it has this foregrip with the M-lock attachments, bipod, flashlight, whatever you want to put on here. But this is, I'll show you up close, a 50 caliber pre-charged pneumatic. What does that mean? Well, looks like we got 3 barrels on here, doesn't it? The top one is your 50 caliber barrel. See if we can get the sun on that. Woo! And the bottom 2 tubes are your air chambers. This is a 3000 PSI fill system here. Super cool. Just a quick rundown. Talked about the stock, the grip, the tactical forearm. It's a single loader. So how do you load this? Well, push that to the front, put your projectile in there, close it back, cock it back, and you're ready to go. Or this one also sends air bolts, which I'll show you all this here in a second. Right out of the box, adjustable rear sight, has a front blade sight right here on the bottom. That is where you put the air in. I'm just going to show you that here too. But the Seneca Dragon Claw 2 out at the range for the first time in the tactical version. Also, before I forget to tell you, it has a low power and a high power setting. I pretty much always fling them on the high power, but if you're sending stuff, just having fun at the range, low power, you're going to get more flings out of your air charge. But just to call that out there while I'm thinking about it. But let me bring you back here on the bench, show you how we gas this thing up. It does have a gauge right there on the bottom. You can see where it's sitting right now. At the bottom of the green, we're going to get it all the way up to the top of the green. And then send some lead down range and maybe even an arrow or 2. That's right, we can load this with arrows. But let me show you how we fill up the air with it, and we'll get to ripping. If you're new to the show, make sure you're subscribed. But if you're not new to the show, you have heard me talk about Pyramid. PyramidAir.com is where we get all of our air-powered stuff. That's where we got this Dragon Claw 2 tactical version from Pyramid. So everything from 177. I brought out to the range here too this Hellcat replica in a 177, and we've been having fun plinking with that out here too. But if you've never been there, Pyramid at PyramidAir.com is where we got this big 50 cal. And that's where we get all our air-powered stuff. Man, there's some sun in here, isn't there? Let me show you how we fill these tanks up. All right, so I said I was going to show you how I fill this thing up. So here's our 50 cal. And then that bottom tube is where the fitting is. I've got my cord on there up to my compressor here. Now this one is a 3000 PSI fill. If you look at the gauge here, the red means bad, is right at about 200 bar. So I'm going to go over here to my compressor, and we're going to set this to where it doesn't go over 200 bar, or roughly the same as you can see 3000 PSI. You can see you had that thing cranked up there for something with a little more boogie on it. But then I'm going to turn this baby on, and we're just going to let it fill up. It'll take just a minute. And once this hits that I set it to max out for this particular one, this thing will shut itself off and we'll be ready to go. All right, so the compressor shut off. I got a good charge on this baby. Now I told you, I better decompress this. Come on now. Always let the air out of there before you take that. Anyways, I said I was going to show you all the projectiles I'm gonna be slinging out of here. So here's a 185 grain hollow point that I have there. Then I have the big boys, the 336 grain I don't know what FP stands for, but the big ones. And then I've got the lightest 177 grain round ball. They all feed the same right there and there, like I showed you. But see if I can hit some steel with this thing. All right, so first I'm gonna try the round ball. Like I said, I got a good charge on this, so we ought to be able to fling for a little while. Make sure my earplugs are in. I got my iPro on. This thing definitely gets rowdy and makes a racket. So here we go. I'll load one of these round balls. Now that steel right there is right at 20 yards. I'm gonna go for that silhouette first. Probably a little close for this. We can definitely reach out further than 20 yards, but just to get a sense of our sights here, without adjusting it, this is right out of the box. See where we're at on this 20-yard piece of steel. I'll do my best to hold dead center. Oh yeah, you heard how fast that got there, but I hit it right in the center. So now that I know I hit it center with the round ball, I've got a target up there 50 yards. That'll be a little bit more challenging. I'm gonna use that, what were these, 185? Yeah, 185 grainer right there. I'm gonna go up there to that top target up on the hill. You know, we ought to be able to hear that steel ring too. This thing hits so hard. It's a 50 cal. Here we go. Hold center there. From the shoulder, that's not super easy, but let's try it. Oh yeah, I see exactly where I hit. It took a bunch of paint off. Dead center, up and down, and I broke it a little bit left. But let's go ahead and load up one of those big boys, the 336 grainer. Pulled it all the way to the back, full power mode. Oh yeah, and I hit it in almost exactly the same spot. Y'all, we try to hit that with a round ball out there a little further. Every time I'm smacking it. So right out of the box, these sights are pretty well dead on. Just because I want to and for some fun, I'm gonna take another one of those 336 grainers. Whoa. And hit that 20-yarder again. See what we can do here. You ought to really hear this one hit the steel hard. Full power mode here, cocked it all the way back. Boom. Man, that thing is a lot of fun. And like I said, let me go grab it. You can also send the air bolts out of this thing at crazy speeds. Just to show you the box here, these are the air bolts that go in the Dragon Claw. You can see how they load in the barrel there. But I've chronographed these at 600 feet per second. This is how they load. You just kind of start the fins twisting clockwise and then put it all the way down there. I've white-tailed deer hunted with these Dragon Claws, with these air bolts with broadheads in them. But just to show you the speed, let me roll in the footage where I chronograph this. 600 feet per second. That's faster than any crossbow, any compound bow that's out there. Incredible speed and power out of this thing. Check out this footage. Aim right over the chronograph, don't hit it, and try to hit my deer back there at the same time. Here we go. Oh my. Oh my. Just as advertised, guys. If I can get the focus on there. 598 feet per second. Can you guys see that? Let me get this camera out here. Make sure you guys can see it perfect there. 598 feet per second. So, there you have it, guys. Like I said, a bunch of people been blowing me up to get this thing to the range. So, first trip to the range quick, it fed and sent down range accurately all three of those lead projectiles I have. The round balls, the hollow points, and those big flat front 336s. On the steel here, we got to 20 yards, and then on that 50-yard one, it was hitting almost exactly the same spot with just those iron sights. Now this does have an 11mm dovetail here. I'm going to get a scope on here eventually so we can do some bench rest precision stuff with this thing. Stay tuned for those videos. But right out of the box, filled it up with air, and sights are on there. But hey, if you're looking for a 50 caliber pre-charged pneumatic, these Dragon Claws are a whole lot of fun. This is the tactical version, like I said, with this style stock and the grip and the M-LOK foregrip. But if the tactical stuff doesn't float your boat, they do make this Dragon Claw 2 with a wood stock as well. But lots of boogie, lots of power, lots of different things that you can send down range with those different projectiles and the air bolts. Me personally, I have taken a whitetail with the Dragon Claw 2 already. If you haven't seen that video, definitely go check it out. But like I said, we get all of our air powered stuff from Pyramid at pyramidair.com. They got a bunch of cool stuff over there, including the Dragon Claws. But hey, appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you're subscribed. We got a ton of new videos coming out every single day. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Hooty hoo.